everyone. Thank you and welcome to this year's presser as we look forward to holding yet another edition of the National Journalism Awards, which is actually a flagship program of the Gambia Press Union. And without saying much ado, I'll introduce myself. My name is Aisat Keita. Here, I am a member of the awards committee. I was the chairperson of the awards committee last year and year before last, but this year I am just a member of the awards committee. On my immediate left, I have Therese Gomez. She's the vice chairperson of the GPU National Journalism Awards Committee. You have Mariama Bojang, who is also part of the award committee, and Uthman Jeng, who is also a member of the awards committee. So like we do each year is to, once we are preparing for the awards, we do an presser to inform the general public about the National Journalism Awards and what we hope to achieve or do as we celebrate excellence in journalism. And like you all know, based on the first publications that we've done, this year is going to be 10 years, a decade since the award was actually launched. So welcome to all of you, and thank you also for honoring our invitation to cover this particular press conference. I'll hand over to Therese as the vice chair to give us updates as to what we look forward to this year. Thank you.
I shouldn't be the one doing this, leading the press conference this morning. Should have been the chair himself, who is Haruna Drame. He's the chair of the committee for this year's awards, but he's away and told us to go ahead and have the press conference today so that we do not waste much time. I want to warmly welcome you all again to this important press conference as we publicly kickstart the process for the annual GPU National Journalism Awards. Like Aisatu said, this year marks 10 years since it was launched. The awards was initiated to not only award the incredible work of journalists, but to motivate them to keep doing what they are doing, and to not despair, but to shed light on the plight and importance of the Fifth Estate journalism, and to show the general populace that we are partners in national development. And also to the people in power, that we are partners, to allow us to work without fear, that we are not opponents. It was why they launched the awards. And also why at the start of the awards, it was always done on May 3rd, which is Press Freedom Day. The GPU felt it was no longer enough just to be the eyes, the ears, and the voice of the people, but to be visible and loud. Now, every year when we do the awards, we have categories. Sometimes we have a lot of categories, more than the number that we initially started with the awards. And other times we will have less because we merge them with other categories as they happen to be in the same category. This year, we are going again with, just like last year, with the 15 award categories, and of course, the other special categories that we will introduce as we go on with the award preparation. I will list them so you know them. Business and finance reporting, sports reporting, environment reporting, investigative reporting, health and medical reporting, women's reporting, children's reporting, tourism, culture, arts and entertainment reporting, agricultural reporting, political reporting, human rights reporting, legal affairs reporting, photojournalism award, security reporting, tax reporting, and all the other categories that we will introduce. Some would be new and others will be a reintroduction. You will be familiar with them. Now for the submission is not yet open. That will be later, we will announce it, but it will be earlier again than the past years have been. And the time frame for this year's submission will be longer than the past years. Submission will remain the same through a dedicated website or through the GPU website. That will be communicated later. As for the eligibility for the awards remains the same. Gambian journalist employed by a registered Gambian-based medium, and yes, works authored by Gambians for international media will be accepted. There would be, of course, some things that will make it difficult for for your article to be eligible. And this is if they are advertorials, promotional articles, newsletters, and more. This will be communicated to you later once we introduce the judges, which will bring me to the judges. On the judges, they have been vetted, selected, contacted, and given time to think it through. Given the work that is entrusted with them and what we expect of them, we are giving them time to think it through and get back to us. Because of the commitment that is required, it's not an easy task. And as always, they will be independent, with no influence from us or from the union itself, the executive. They will consider, I don't speak for them, but of course they will consider these things: originality, accuracy, impact, and so much more. For the eligible stories, which is why this year will be different. Stories, again, will be from January 2024 to December 2024. These are stories that will be eligible. So if you have banked some of your stories, you can go and revisit them and look at the ones that you thought you would put up for the awards. And again, there is no limit to the number of stories that you can put up for selection. But here is where it becomes different from the past years. We are not only accepting 2024, we are accepting 2025 as well. From January 2025 to July 2025, stories published in that time will be eligible for this year's awards. So, if you have stories for this year, until today and the next 10 days or 9 days, we put them up for submissions once it is open. That is all I have for you. Thank you. If you have questions.
Thank you very much, Teres. I think it's actually clear based on what you need to know in terms of the categories, the submissions, and also the issue of the judges as well. So now we'll open the floor if you have any questions. Just maybe to belabor on the last part on the aspect of the duration of the submission. January 2024 to December 2024 and January 2025 to July 2025. Also to say, just to say January 2024 to July 2025, those are the stories that are eligible for submissions for this year's award. Hence, it's going to be 10 years. We want to make something, we want to bring in something different. Thank you. So the floor is open for questions. If you have any, we are ready to take them up. Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you, the award committee, for bringing up this opportunity for journalists to also file stories. And my question is, over the years, a group of journalists, those in the media, especially the broadcasting sector, have felt neglected. Those are the camera operators and technicians behind the scenes that are ensuring that journalists who are filing stories meet the criteria that are needed for submission. Because there is no visual story without the work of the technicians and camera people. But over the years, we've seen these people not being included in the categories, and I felt like it's not sometimes fair. And in this year also, we don't see any category that catered for them as well. Can you tell us, can the whole committee elaborate on that, and what are the future plans to ensure that this segment of important people behind the newsroom who are catered for?
Thank you, Doctor. Actually, they are catered for. They fall under the category of photojournalism. So it's photojournalism and videography. They all fall under that sector, if that's what you mean. There were submissions made last year, and we actually got some feedback, but the judges felt none of the stories submitted were eligible to be awarded. So the videographers, the photographers, they had their category. They just fell short of what they were looking for, the judges were looking for.
My follow-up question would be, would it not make sense for videographers, especially if I file in a video story that won an award, would it not make sense for the person who covered that video to also get an award?
I don't know if there's any story that was submitted under the photojournalism category and submitted for another story and won in that category and didn't win in the photojournalism category. I don't think that happened. But there will be a press conference once all the judges have responded and we organize one for them. These are questions that you can, again, put through to them. Like we said, we don't speak for them. They are independent. We don't tell them what to do. So what they decide becomes the final once they do their work.
And maybe just to add on to what Dada was saying, the same criteria that is set up for the stories being submitted are the same criteria set for the photojournalism category. We look at the clarity of the images that are set. We look at the angling of the images that are set. We also look at the framing, the creativity, how these images are shot, and then whether those images that are submitted are things that could tell a story. If these things cannot tell anything, then there wouldn't be any need for those particular stories to be videos to be shortlisted. Like you mentioned, that the aspect of whether if a story, a journalist wins a story, the videographer was almost also win a story. But let's look at it in this particular perspective. Those stories, we look at the aspect of the content, the originality, the grammar, and all of those things. And when it comes to grammar, there is no grammar that is looked at in footages. It might be different. So if you feel like that particular story, this person might win this, and you feel that you've actually done enough with that particular video, why not? You can just send it. So the judges will also go through and check. But the rest of it, the judges will be the ones that will be able to deliver more on that.
I think there is still something that I don't get right. How are these? Yeah, as far as the award is committee is here, you should also give good feedback to the judges so that they put it into consideration. Yes. I'm thinking, so how does these people, let's say, sometimes you have a story that the photographer, I can remember back in 2022, during the flood, we have exceptional shots taken by photographers, videographers rather. But how do they file these stories for, awarded, to get awarded? Because sometimes there are any story that is not eligible for an award done by any court, because the stocks are eligible. So how do you, I think most of the cameras are also not.
Yeah. Okay, so you can compile these videos. If these videos can tell us.
Sorry, sometimes you not even need a voice over a video. You compile them, put them together, and then that tells something. Do you understand? Those things alone here will actually be able to tell something. But I think sometimes, most of these cameramen, they hardly submit. They hardly put up submissions. Year before last, there was no submission that was made. It was just last year. But the ones that were submitted, we are not eligible for it. And for them, it's like if a journalist actually wins. For most of them, it's like they didn't need not to submit anything. But once a reporter wins, they should also win. But it's different. The things that we look at in terms of the stories that are submitted is different, kind of different from what we look at in terms of the photos or the videos that are submitted. We look at, like I said, how clear the photo or the video is. We look at how the creativity in terms of the angles and the shots that have been taken. These are different from what we actually look at in terms of the stories that are submitted by journalists. Because some are the print person that actually submits. But at the end of the day, it's the print that actually wins. You get it? So in this, what are we actually looking at? We look at some of the contents and terms of originality, and then the multiple sourcing and all that in the particular story, and the impact as well.
Yeah, that's the whole reason for the awards. Because once you see your colleagues being awarded for the wonderful work they are doing and how they are doing it ethically, that will encourage others. And I think the awards being staged since the start, it has encouraged a lot of young people to come in. Some of them really came to knowledge with the GPU, came to know the GPU through the awards. Because it's a big event. It is one of the biggest events of the union. It is the only event that the union has where it's televised live and have the number of people from all sectors of work come and be present there, have the minister, our line minister, every minister that is at that time, our line minister, be present at the award and give speech. So it is one thing that catapults our work to the public. And that is what the award does, encourage people to do it as the profession dictates and as our code of conduct dictates.
I want to confirm, because last year, 17 categories, if I remember.
Yes.
I want to know if that's the case, this is the truth. And also, some stories can have two aspects. Can have human rights aspect, and maybe education or people. So can stories
That fit in with
yes,
two categories be submitted?
apply on the two categories.
Absolutely. If one story
Touches on different categories that are up for awarding, you can submit it in all those categories. If it's talking about women, and it's a different category from the children's report, and at the same article is talking about children, you can submit it in all of those. If it's talking about flood, national disaster, environment, you can submit it in that same category as well. If you know that this is not one story cannot be the one-dimensional. It can be multiple dimensionals. So you can put it in all those categories that you know it fits in, and then wait which one it wins. Because it's a good story, it's a great story, but it doesn't mean it will be the story that will win in the category that you put it in. So that's why we have a lot of people take one story and put it on a number of categories. And that's why sometimes you will see some people win multiple awards, because maybe that one article is the one that takes them through to carry on those awards, or 3 articles that will get them win awards. And there are some articles that they think everybody has talked about it, but it doesn't give them even 1 award. So you can do that. Yes, and the number of awards, that's why I didn't say we are going for this number of awards this year. We are going along with what we had last year, but we would be adding either some new ones or reintroduce some categories that we have had in the past years. You just have to keep up with us, and then we will. That's why we're having this press conference earlier than we've ever had it before, so that we can be dropping these gems along as we go and before we introduce you to the judges. Yes.
With regards to the question that you
the issues of the camera unit.
yes.
You said they fall in a particular category. I think
journalism.
yeah, the whole idea is to motivate the professionals in the media.
Every person that is working in the
So I think in order to avoid them feel demotivated, I think you should tell them the criteria that will fit their works to showcase. I think we can do that.
Yes, we can. Once the judges, we've got them together and have a meeting with them before we introduce them to
The public. This is something, and I'm sure they will be watching this as well. They will look at this because the reason we are giving them this time frame to think it through, it involves a lot of commitment. Some of the times they are in the Gambia, sometimes they are outside of the Gambia. Timing is a problem. So to make sure that before they say yes, they think it through, would I be able to dedicate 95% of my time to this, so that we don't have problems? We've had this a number of years. You people will not be satisfied with the judges, with their delivery. So we want to make sure that this year is with a difference. There is no problem with having feedback or backlash. We always get that, but we are making sure that we minimize it and we are able to cater to everything so that nobody feels neglected. Because remember, at the start of my press speech, I said, we didn't want you to despair. We want everybody to be hopeful so that you don't feel that they just target this sector, they are forgetting us. The people behind the scenes are the reason we are seen and we are heard. So there's no way we would forget people behind the scenes. So they will see this, and once we have our meetings with them, we will talk to them to see what they can do. But again, I say this, we don't speak for them. What we say is what we are thinking, but we don't tell them this is how you do it. We pick them, we vetted them, and we know they have independence, and they will do the work as they deem fit, according to the guidelines that we have given them. Yeah.
Okay, maybe one thing that I will add that might be just a little bit different and that could affect many is this year, in terms of we are only accepting awards or submissions from individuals that are registered and fully paid up members of the GPU. That we actually have to make clear, because based on our last Congress that we had, these were some of the concerns that were raised by members. So we will only accept submissions from individuals that are registered and fully paid up members of the GPU. So this, you still have time to be able to register with the union and also pay up your membership. because that's the only time that you are eligible to be able to submit for any category in question in terms of the award. And then also maybe what we will do as a follow-up to your question is we do update our social media, and then part of those will also put the criteria as reminders to people so that it will help them in terms of applying to know what they need to put into consideration before submitting their stories.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up.
Dauda.
I'm sorry for taking more time, but this is a part that we need to plan out. My question is, what stories with single source or maybe two sources within an hour? I want to know.
Two writers or you mean?
Story of single source and maybe two sources in a story. Like one an award. We've seen it happen because after the awards, these stories are the links are published and people can go back and then read these stories as well. And we've seen stories that were nominated in various categories, but they don't win the award. I want to know, how does the award committee measure the impact of the story? And what other measures we put in place to ensure that people apply? We have people who have exceptional stories, but during the application process they might fall shy. Because not every journalist can perhaps understand how to follow application process and submit these stories. I think that is also been a hindrance for many people from submitting stories as well. I want to know that how you measure the impact and then the application process, what measures do you take in place to ensure that people are enlightened with these things?
We have our ITE personnel. She always is there and always would put, if you have any info on our social media handles, that if you are when you're submitting your articles, if you have any problems, challenges, do reach out to us and we will help you. We'll give you guidelines on how to do it. Sometimes they will even give you one, whether it's Google Forms, to try and submit it because of the format that is used and the heaviness of some of the stories that are submitted. So maybe you will submit an article, somebody will submit an audio or a video, and some don't know how to do it, but they give them help on submitting it. So we don't have a problem with that. With measuring again the impact, I said this is the judges. I can't speak for the judges. When we have the press conference with the judges, they will help you with these answers. Yes. I will not speak for the judges. I am not a judge, so I will not say anything when it comes to that judging part. Yeah. Okay, Ibrahim. Who do you have in mind? We would love to hear ideas from you people.
Let's say someone like Mustafa, I know he goes I do stories that impact you of visiting everyone.
Okay.
In that way, impact
Okay. I mean, this is one area that the awards committee and the union have been pushing for. That's why in the past years, we would have some people say, Mustafa wins a lot of awards. But because he understood what the award was for. He understood why it was a must for him to submit his awards. There are other people who feel they don't need to submit their work because they're already known, but they're doing good work. People recognize them. But he never looked at that. He knew that I need to be seen out there for people to see what I am doing. A lot of you in the workfield don't know each other. But some of you would know Mustafa from seeing him out there and hearing his name. Some of you came to know him because of the awards. So it is what the award was for. That's what the media, the union wanted. So if you people are saying that you have seen your colleagues, they are doing amazingly well, and you people want us to start recognizing them, separate from them submitting their work, we'll look at it. We can't, us sitting here can't make that decision and say, yes, we will do it. It's a committee, and it is. Absolutely. That is why I say we don't want you people to despair. We want you people to be encouraged. And that's why we award people. If you see your mate that is encouraged, you see her get an award, you say, we are doing the same thing. If she can win, I can win. So let me submit my work as well. That's why we want all of you to submit your work. If you don't submit your works and just 10 people submit, the 10 people will take away all the awards. If you have good work and you say, I don't want to submit it, they should see me and recognize me like you are suggesting. It might happen some years, it might not happen now. And whilst you're waiting, somebody else is getting the recognition they deserve. And you deserved as well, but you have decided, no, I'll wait for people to acknowledge me. So this is it. We want you all to be involved. We don't get up, run every day once we start. And that's why I said, this is the first time we are publicly coming out to you. That was very intentional. I said publicly, because we have been doing this since the day after the awards from last year. But it was behind the scenes. But we are coming to you publicly now to show you that we have started and we're kicking off today. So we want you to be involved. Don't think your article is smaller, it didn't make an impact. Every story that is out there makes an impact. An impact doesn't mean that the whole Gambia is talking about it. An impact means one person read it, listened, and is changed by that article that he or she read or heard.
So, Gambian folk in the international media houses, eligible to apply.
Yes.
That means I work.
You submit your articles to international bodies outside of Gambia. They are eligible.
That means I work easy. My work will be accepted.
Yes. It will be accepted through the submissions. Would it mean you would win that? I don't know. Someone's here that are good.
It is, they are the, let's say, the media houses. It are most experience. And people are complaining that, or some people are suggesting that you can't compete with people that are working with international media houses. And as a result, they are suggesting that a separate award be catered for them, provided for them. So what is your committee's view on this?
We've heard that, we've talked about it. We haven't decided yet. Again, because some people are worried that we are undermining the work of
Gambian editors. We have great editors here. We have, I mean, all the articles you people are praising, it's due to some of the editors. They are the ones who finish things, who proofread things, and think how to capture the audience. So just because we are in the Gambia and they are in other countries doesn't mean we do less work. So that's why it's always a challenge for them to say, let's separate it. But again, like we do every year, we will think about it, we will talk about it, and we will see what happens. We will be having press conferences, and again, we will be updating you people on all our social media handles, on all of these things that you people are raising. Mariama is taking note of them, that's why her hands are under the table. And once we discuss these things, we'll put it up. No, no. Very true.
When they have their special category, they will completely and have got a CBT and PRT. So it will make them to also work hard to produce that.
Okay.
Like that. My technology,
Okay.
my discovery.
Well, we've heard you. Dauda is disagreeing. But no, we take it on board. We don't mind Dauda. Don't mind
I
Dauda.
don't think
We'll take it on board.
If you constantly follow the BBC, you know that when it comes to the grammar, they have the standard. But if you follow, especially the website, you always get blunders.
We are not here to assess them. We are not here to assess them.
For me, the idea of like you working for BBC, you work for the Gambia, I think the only difference is BBC, they have collaborative efforts. Here in the Gambia, an individual is doing the whole thing. Sometimes editors are lazy. But other than that, I can see people here who can be better than those working in the BBC if they have the opportunity. Sure.
We are taking it on board, and we will look at it. Anything you want, we will update you. This is the first press conference, so it's just to throw it out there. What we have worked on so far. What we'll keep. It's July. Remember, we used to contact people like October.
Very good. Yes. Is that all? Yes.
Ask this question once more.
Yeah, we've thought of that. I think last year we tried to do that. It didn't go through. It went down the drain, but it is something that Isato is working on. She's looking at. She tried that last year. It just failed, which we are saddened by. But we are looking at that. I think we were a bit ambitious with the number last time, and because of the promises that were made to us, not due to our fault, it was the promises made to us. But this year, we'll definitely look at it. If it's one person that we are going to do with, we'll start with one person. Because remember, we have our school. And if we are paying for, we will start with our school, then go from there. Little steps until we get somewhere. Right.
So when is the award expected?
December, we are looking at December, first 10 days of December. So any of these days, God willing. You want to ask her? Go ahead.
I just what they are saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing comparison here. Just give us a answer. We have, let's say, it's only the music industry. When they are nominated, they normally have something like foreign days. There's no basically mean that is better than this one.
No. It's for inclusivity.
So I think this thing I'm trying to see, some of my colleagues are trying to see something like that.
Okay.
Let's say, these journalists of the award, especially for it. You know, in the video production award, they have in the music award, they have something like video producer of the year.
Okay.
Understand? So maybe this will also say, like, let's say, cameraman of the year, something like award that is going to sit there.
Okay.
And I think in the last press release, there was something that was suggested, but I did not hear you guys talking about it. That is, people that are trying to translate
Local languages. Okay. Okay.
Last time we have some discussion about it, so we don't know how far.
All right. There's still discussions ongoing. Just yesterday, last night, messages, we were talking about that on WhatsApp. We are looking into it, but believe me, it's very difficult to see how to fit that in, because remember, the committee changes every few years, and with it, journalism is growing. More people are coming into the profession, and we want to cater across all categories. Everybody, we want them to be included and feel part of the union and the journalism field. We are challenged in some ways, in some areas, in making sure that we cater to these people, but we are looking at it. And if there's anything that we can do, this definitely is going to be this year that we will start it, because we want the 10 years anniversary to be different. And anything we are doing, we want to do so this year. So if there's going to be any changes, it will happen. If there's not going to be changes, things will happen. The work will start from this year then. But we've heard what you said, and we will look at this as well. Anything else? All right then, if that is all, thank you all for coming, and we really appreciate that you people were here ahead of time before my colleagues actually came. I came early, and we'll continue to have these press conferences as they are needed for us to continue to do what we do, and for these awards to be different, for everybody to be really part of it. And we are happy. 10 years is a long time, and everybody knows that the award staging it is not an easy feat. It involves a lot of logistics and work and begging of money, but we are on that, and we will stage a great award again this year. So thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you all.